Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking all about Marvel Crisis Protocol and some of the awesome news and new releases that are on the horizon for this game and some new things that have just been teased. I am going to be talking about a lot of news and not actually doing unboxings today, while most of my content for Crisis Protocol tends to be unboxings and building out miniatures and assembly. This one is actually going to be more about news. Atomic Mass Games has been dropping tons of spoilers and so much cool stuff is on the horizon. Let's just dive right in. As you may or may not know, the X-Men are coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol very, very, very soon. If you want to see more on that, specifically unboxing, see what comes into them, see how the minis look, how the sprues look, see how they look built, all of that stuff, I'm going to be doing all of that. I have my pre-order notice. They are on the way. Be sure to click that subscribe button to get more X-Men content from Marvel Crisis Protocol. And honestly, this is like the biggest hype. This is the number one most requested set of superheroes since this game came out. They announced that these guys were coming right before Gen Con. We finally got the preview at Gen Con. They also teased a couple of other things that were supposed to be coming in like the days after Gen Con. And so there's a whole lot more releases kind of on the horizon. But the big one that's going to be hitting before the holidays is the X-Men. This is going to be 4 packs. It's going to be Magneto. It's going to have Cyclops and Storm, Wolverine, Sabretooth, Toad, Mystique, Beast. It's just going to have 4 packs, 8 characters to get you started. Really exciting. But what's more exciting is that they've been doing a lot of previews lately. So if you follow Atomic Mass Games on social media, and I'm talking like Twitter and Facebook, they've been posting some of the unit cards. They've been posting like articles like dev diaries talking about some of the feel of these characters and how they're gonna play. And yes, like Magneto comes with separate pieces of metal, and he actually will manufacture pieces of metal. He'll like rip metal out of the ground basically if there's not enough metal. So he's gonna always have terrain, or almost always have terrain to throw at people, which is really, really cool. These characters look like they're going to like just bring the game up to a whole new level of fun. And one of the things that's really cool is there's new affiliations, right? So I want to talk about the Uncanny XMen. There's actually 2 kind of affiliation. It's really one affiliation, but they spoiled these cards just recently, and there's a couple of awesome things about here is Gold Team and Blue Team, right? Like Cyclops and Storm respectively. They each have a leadership ability. They can still lead the X-Men, but if you're running Cyclops, you're going to get the Blue Team leadership keyword, versus Storm will have the Gold Team leadership keyword. And that's a really, really clever way of kind of making those teams work, but having them all be X-Men. And so I love it, love it, love it. Very, very cool. But if you are eagle-eyed or just naturally inquisitive, you may have noticed there's some additional characters kind of spoiled on these affiliation cards that they spoiled for us just recently. That being, well, we've already seen Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, and Beast. But Cable, they've already talked about Cable, but here we see Cable will actually be an Uncanny X-Man, which I'm... Look, some of my comic book stuff was a little rusty. I know he was certainly... he was around with the X-Men, but I thought he was more X-Force. But okay, Cable, Domino, which is also surprising, and Jean Grey. So Jean Grey is definitely expected. Jean Grey is actually really interesting. I can't wait to find out more information about Jean Grey, how she's going to be, what form she's going to be. Is she going to be like the 90s cartoon Jim Lee Jean Grey? Is she going to be like Marvel Girl Jean Grey? Is she going to come on straight up like Phoenix attire Jean Grey? Are they going to do multiple versions? I don't know. I'm super excited to see how they do Jean Grey. But Cable and Domino are very, very interesting because they've already teased that Deadpool would be coming. And so I feel like Domino may end up being somebody that comes with Deadpool, and that would make for a good 2-pack. It also tells me that movies are certainly influencing this first couple of waves of X-Men releases. Characters that are popular because of their cinematic epitomes, their cinematic showcasing is obviously something that has been a big influencing factor here. Also, certainly, the games and the cartoons, like a lot of popular, it's not straight only comic book stuff. It's all of the media, in my opinion. I mean, like a lot of the moves are like feel like they come straight out of Marvel versus Capcom. Berserker Barrage, and all kinds of things like that. I love it. And so, but I feel like having Cable and Domino and knowing that Deadpool is on the way feels like, okay, well, this is a Deadpool 2 thing. I'm sure Colossus probably won't be too far behind there, and maybe even Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who I didn't even know was a comic book character before Deadpool came out, but I mean, that makes sense, right? Anyway, you want to go with what's recognizable, and obviously the stuff that is been in movies is going to probably be at the height of what is recognizable and desirable by your consumers, and X-Men is probably going to bring a lot of people into the game. But this isn't the only card that we got spoiled. We also got the Brotherhood of Mutants, and we also have two teams very similar to how they're doing it for the X-Men. I got to have some parity here. Mystique's kind of leading the Freedom Fighter versions, and Magneto's leading the more classic Brotherhood. You also have Sabretooth and Toad. But the interesting thing here is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver showing up initially on the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants side. I'm sure we're going to see more versions of them. It's really cool to have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I was a big disappointed individual when Quicksilver did not survive the cinematic universe, and so I wanted to see more of Quicksilver. I am also really curious how they're going to do Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. My gut right now tells me they're going to go kind of with the classic comic book appearance, like Scarlet Witch with the red and maybe the goofy hat, and Quicksilver with the light blue lightning stripe going down. That's what I'm guessing, because I feel like that's the most recognizable versions of each of them, even though our movie version of Scarlet Witch has changed a little bit, and our movie version of Quicksilver was seriously changed from that. It may be a little bit more closer to the comic book appearance. But at the bottom of this list, Juggernaut. Love it. There was a big popular meme several years ago, the Juggernaut, with an expletive afterwards, which I'm trying to keep this family friendly, but I hope they don't do a card like that. I don't think they will, but I think there'll probably be a card at least that has people saying that at their casual tabletop games. But Juggernaut is super exciting. He was one of my favorite video games of all time was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I had it for the Sega Dreamcast, and I've gotten it on just about every platform that they've released it on since, although I'm not quite as good as I used to be. I used to be really, really, really good at that game, and Juggernaut was one of my go-to characters. I would almost never use him, but he was always my tag-in character, because his assist took up the whole screen, and it was cheap. But it was like when I absolutely positively had to win, I was using Juggernaut, Cable, and Charlie. Those were my three. Right? Oh my goodness. So having Cable and Juggernaut is super exciting. I don't think we're going to get Charlie because he's a Street Fighter character. I don't think we're going to get Street Fighter Marvel vs. Capcom in this. Which, oh my gosh, that would be. Let's keep Capcom out of this video, because that would be cool, and there is a Street Fighter miniatures game coming, and maybe we'll be able to combine the two, but the scales are going to be off, but who knows, we'll at least put the minis next to each other and be like, wouldn't that be cool, and we can dream. Anyway, let's move on, because there has been more. We got more stuff to talk about. There's quite a bit. In some of the other previews also, one of the cards that we're going to have is First Class, which is featuring some of the classic X-Men, and this is certainly cool. We're seeing Jean Grey right there. We're also seeing Cyclops, who we're already getting. We're seeing Beast, who we're already getting. We're also seeing Angel and Iceman, Bobby and Warren. So, hey, pretty cool. It's not really as spoilerific. I think most reasonable people could probably already expect that these characters were going to show up at some point. Iceman is just too cool not to do. Angel, I'm unsure, because I feel like Archangel is probably the cooler looking mini to design as opposed to Angel. I would rather have Archangel than Angel, but that's me personally, because a big part of that is because he showed up in the 90s cartoon, and it was like one of my first big introductions into the X-Men and a lot of Marvel characters, specifically X-Men characters, and so Archangel was very recognizable for me. But Angel was kind of before I had gotten into comics, so I'm a bigger fan of Archangel, but got to pay respects to the original team, and so this is pretty cool. So I'm sure that Iceman and Angel will be coming at some point, and that is cool. Another teaser that just came out, Gambit and Rogue. The artwork on the cards isn't always directly saying what's coming next, but it's usually a good indication, like, hey, they've developed some art here. And usually when they put characters like this on a card, whatever this card ends up doing is probably going to be a card that would work well with these characters when they come out. So, if you want more information on all these cards and what they do or whatever, check out my unboxings when they come out. Not only do I look at the minis and the unit cards, I also look at all the cards, the Crisis cards and everything that come with the Team Tactics cards that come with each pack. So we're going to get a close-up look at all of that. And definitely cannot wait for Gambit and Rogue. My question for you guys is, do you think Gambit and Rogue will come together in a 2-pack? Or are they both such like top tier recognizable characters that they'll split them up deliberately, for sales purposes? Because marketing and sales is a necessary evil, right? Like, you can't just say, hey everybody, we're gonna give you everything you want right up front. Like, you gotta space things out and keep people buying. Like, I don't know how many people would have bought in Toad, if he didn't come with who is Toad packaged with? Does he come with Magneto? But yeah, so no, actually no, he doesn't come with Magneto. Toad comes, I believe, with Beast? No, I don't know. I forget the order and how everything is completely packaged together. But my point is, sometimes you have to put, a super desirable character with something that's less desirable for them to be, to kind of make sure that gets sold. It makes me wonder if they'll do that here. As far as some more releases, we got a lot more releases that were kind of spoiled. A lot of the like Defenders and those were also announced after Gen Con. A lot of those have already come out. I've done some unboxings of most of all of those so far. One of the last sets to kind of get spoiled that hasn't come out in the United States yet is Angela and Enchantress. And yes, that is Angela from the Spawn comics. If you're thinking that Spawn, Todd McFarlane's Spawn himself, is actually going to be coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol, you may have to wait because they don't have the rights for that. This was one of those weird deals where this particular character kind of got some rights, got kind of like leased out, so it kind of sold to Marvel, and but nothing else. So I'm sure there's a lot more that could be said about it, but I'm trying to keep this video brief. But that is for somebody who, one of my first comics was Angela's first appearance fighting Spawn. I loved that. And so I'm definitely going to be picking this pack up. And I'm less excited about Enchantress because she's pretty much just all green and just different shades of green and is not that exciting to paint. But we'll find a way. Maybe we'll change things up a little bit, add a little excitement to her color scheme and change things up a little bit. Possibly. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to change things up. And we got another big preview. And I'm saving the most interesting to last because if you're a fan of the Inhumans, they kind of dropped this little side spoiler, and if you're not sure exactly who that is, that's Black Bolt. Black Bolt, the leader of the Inhumans, Prince. I don't know a whole lot about Black Bolt, but it looks like this is going to be a really good version of him. This looks kind of true to the comic appearance. I don't want them to do like the TV appearance with the suit that barely even fit the guy. It was too big and it just didn't look good. But Black Bolt is this incredibly powerful character that can't even speak without accidentally like destroying the planet. So even for him to just like whisper is like a super powerful attack. And he's got these psychic connections with his big dog, and he's got his family in Medusa, and his whole in the Inhumans. It's like this whole royal family, and they kind of are in hiding and all of this stuff. Not quite as well known as the X-Men, but it's like a different, like just kind of like how X-Men are mutants, Inhumans. It's depending on whether you're watching TV shows or versus the comics. I think there's subtle differences in the story there, but the Inhumans is another one of those teams that is going to work really, really well in this game because of their affiliation and teamwork, and it makes me wonder what else is coming. Now, not much else is going to be coming, at least after November. December is going to be a very, very slow month as far as releases. I don't believe we're going to see anything show up in December unless, of course, your store happens to get like the X-Men late or something like that. Because they are still supposed to be coming out in November. So you may just get some restocks of things in December. But January will have some new stuff, and 2021 is going to have a lot of new things coming. And it's super exciting. And there should be some news, potentially, in December. They've been hinting that while there won't be any new product, they do have a few surprises in store for us. So I guess it's going to be some Inhumans teasers and maybe even, I don't know what villain affiliation they'll do there. I think there's plenty more villains for them to do. Plus, we saw the cards already, so there's probably already work for Juggernaut and things like that. So I'm really, really excited. But I want to hear from you guys. What are you most excited about from what we've talked about today? What are you really looking forward to in Marvel Crisis Protocol? Have you played Marvel Crisis Protocol yet? It's honestly, it's one of my favorite new games, and one of the things that I love about it, as somebody who plays a lot of games, is it's not that rules heavy. It's simple. The rules are really, really simple. Like, I can teach you the core rules in like 2 minutes. Or maybe 5 minutes, right? But the complexity comes in each individual character, because each character has their own rule set, but it's printed, so you don't have to memorize, 50 pages of rules reference guide. You can just look at the characters in front of you, and those are the rules. Captain America and leading the Avengers is going to have their own set of rules. Red Skull leading the Cabal is going to have their own set of rules, and it makes for such a really, really approachable and new player-friendly experience. And it's just really, really fun. And that's the thing, is it's fun. It's super, super, super fun. And I love this game. And I am really looking forward to lockdowns ending, COVID coming to an end, hopefully someday, and really being able to just be like, hey, let's all play Marvel Crisis Protocol this weekend, and being able to do that more. Because it's a super fun game. All right, you guys, that's about all I have today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. Daylight savings time is a bag of farts and needs to go away. I want to thank you all so much, and as always, have a great day.